Hi everyone, here's the BestBooksEver once again, and in this video I will give you a few reasons why I think you should read Middlemarch by George Eliot, why I think you should crack open this 1000-page book, which is rather heavy, not difficult at all really. It's a quite addictive story, but still, I mean, it's set in the early 19th century, not everybody's piece of cake, but why should you read it all the same? Bottom line, because it's as good as books get. Really, Middlemarch is widely considered the high point of the 19th century English novel, which is itself considered the golden age of the novel, and I've heard only War and Peace I've heard it praised more than Middlemarch, and some people think Middlemarch is better than that too. Some people will tell you that the great fascination with the 19th century novel is because in the 19th century novel people still had an ordered vision of the world and plots made sense. Characters had a reason, had troubles, but they overcame them because people still believed in order and progress and these kinds of things, whereas in contemporary literature all those things are gone, and so novels are so complicated and experimental and complex and weird. And I think that there's some truth in that. I also think that's partially bullshit, because Middlemarch is a very problematic novel indeed, and it shows you how complicated and how fucked up life is for everybody. Like, really, the characters in Middlemarch have some of the most fucked up lives you find in literature. Like, seriously, you read the first chapter of this book and already you are, oh no people, you're going to make so many wrong decisions within the next 1000 pages. I can't even imagine, and you can't even imagine, because it gets worse before it gets better. So one thing Middlemarch does really good is to make you empathize with character and make you understand that as much as you have problems in your life, other people have the same problems. It's okay to be messed up, it's okay to have messed up lives, and you might say, well, that's what all literature and most of music and many movies do. Yes, but George Eliot, one of the good things about George Eliot is that she's really good at portraying characters, are portraying psychologically complex and layered characters. Some authors, for instance, I've heard that Charles Dickens is really good at portraying really funny, really snappy and witty male characters, but is not that good with, for instance, women or other kinds of characters. George Eliot can do whatever she fucking wants. George Eliot is really good at portraying women, old people, ugly people, beautiful people. She is really good at portraying a vast array of humanity in such a believable and convincing way. The point in George Eliot's novels is that nobody is really wicked, nobody is the bad guy, and nobody is the hero or the heroine. Everyone in their way have their flaws, and they are so incredibly well depicted. Like, even nowadays, if you think about the authors who are allegedly taking on the legacy of 19th century authors like George Eliot and portraying all the psychologically complex characters, think of Jonathan Franzen. If you read a book like The Corrections or Freedom or even Purity, for what I've read, by Jonathan Franzen, all the characters there are kinda assholes, and you end up hating most of them. They're all disgusting people. In George Eliot, everybody acts like an asshole, but you don't hate them. You understand why they do and you empathize with them. Choose what you prefer, but to me this is better literature. Again, I like Franzen's novel. This is not like a video in which I bash his novels. But anyway, this is really good, and it's not something you find that much. It's not that common once you start thinking about it. Is the plot interesting? Is the book addictive? The book is kinda addictive if you are an English major, if you are a passionate fan of literature, but also because it's so fucking well written. Every sentence could be like put in a frame and hanged to your wall. It's really well written. Is the plot addictive? At times it is. Like, you get really interested in the lives of some characters. At times it's not incredibly interesting because it's about early 19th century English politics, which is not definitely not the most interesting topic out there, not as much as atomic bombs and sharks. But still, it's an interesting book. It's a good read. It intertextualizes a lot with so many different works of literature from the previous ages. It does it in a clever way, but at the same time it's not like a pretentious book, and you don't have to have read any other really book from previous ages, from like contemporaries of George Eliot, in order to get this one. One thing George Eliot did very well was like being clever without being pretentious. I got mail. Whee! It's a board game for me. Above and below. How awesome! Series though, George Eliot, very good author. Read it. Read her. Going on, the reflection in this book is incredibly awesome on the way people actually build a village and explore the caverns. In the way it portrays how common people, how the life of common people are relevant to the flow of history. This is the founding book in all those books you read in the late 20th century, early 19th century, in which the main characters are losers, or in general anti-heroes, like Zeno's Conscience, like the Malavoglia, like a lot of Italian books you probably don't know. Also, whatever, The Man Without Quality, for instance, Dubliners, Jail Portrait, and Ulysses by Joyce. Pretty much all the books by Thomas Hardy, many of John Steinbeck's novels. In many ways, it all starts here. If you are a fan of books, if you are a fan of literature, if you are passionate about the topic, you have to read this book at one point or another, because it's one of the best ever written. It might not be from the outside as interesting as some other books I've talked about in this series. It's not a journey to hell like the Divine Comedy, it's not about this man fighting windmills like the Don Quixote, but it's as golden as all those ones. Do read Middlemarch. I know it's long. I mostly read it through a weekend in which I only did that, and as a result I got injured because I kept keeping the book like this, and so my thumb got injured and I had to take pills for a lot of weeks. The literature can be a dangerous business. Do read the book. If you have read it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if this is your favorite George Eliot novel. I'm not even sure, because maybe Adam Bede is more entertaining. I might like it a bit more, even though this is of course more complex and more majestic in many ways, so this might be my choice. Let me know if you're going to read, what you expect from the book. Let me know whatever passes through your mind. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.